technology really is closely tied to the policy decisions we have to make moving forward. And no policy situation is more apparent to us than the economic constraints we face, and the budget constraints we face in Washington. If you look at what's going on in Washington, what's going on in the budget process, what's going on in terms of the attention to deficit reduction, we don't know exactly how it's going to play out, but what we all know is resources across our government are going to be dramatically more constrained than they have been in the past. And if we know we're facing this situation, but we also know that our population is growing to an extent that we're going to have another 100 million people just in the next few decades, and all those people are going to be users of our transportation system, we need to work smarter. We need to drive a better transportation system without necessarily the same kind of budget that we had to build the transportation system we have today, which means we have to have better informed decision making. So I want to talk briefly about 4 topics today. As I was developing this list a few days ago, I could have come up with 20 different places where technology intersects policy, but we have a limited amount of time, so I picked 4. One is satellite-based navigation, GPS. A second is alternative energy solutions. A third is advancing state of good repair of the infrastructure. And the fourth is workforce development. But I want to close the remarks with the cross-cutting issue, which is all this new technology is changing our transportation system so much that we need a workforce that can operate, build, manage that system with skills that have never really been required in the past. We need to get more people involved with information technology and computer science and more diverse material sciences, cybersecurity, a whole range of disciplines into a workforce that's already facing workforce issues. We got up to 50% of the transportation workforce that's eligible for retirement just in the next 2 or 3 years, and we expect many of them to be leaving in the next 7 or 8 years. And we need to know who's going to come in and fill that need. And this falls into almost every category of transportation employee, whether it's bus operators or truck drivers or pilots or ship operators, but also the people that are designing the system and maintaining the system. And the new technologies we're putting out there, the new systems we're putting out there, require different kind of skills of the kinds that I just laid out. So what are we doing about it from a policy perspective? We're working closely with the University Transportation Centers to target not just putting out great masters and PhDs that are helping us design and build the next transportation system, but also partnering with vocational schools and community colleges to train the rest of the transportation workforce. And we're also looking at K through 12 education, trying to work with the White House on advancing more science, technology, engineering, and math focus in K through 12, because that's where a lot of the future transportation workforce is going to need to come from. And we need to get a more diverse workforce. We need to look at more sources of employees for this expanding need of a highly skilled workforce to address this very, very different technological environment in transportation.